just the randomness to bring it to. It's funny because I realized like as we were talking about Jim Carrey earlier, bro, like that Truman Show movie, and it's kind of how our lives are as far as people who choose to record something or little bits and pieces of their life. But it's dope because it's documentation for those who care to like document or in a sense record their life story, especially in this day and age where it's so normalized or whatever, to be able to just film oneself, hey, this is my day-to-day, blah, 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 versus having the ability to like take pictures and like from back in the days when they would take pictures or like be fortunate enough to have pictures and those were the kind of the memories or whatever. Now it's like you have to, not have to, but like a lot of us choose to record themselves or record groups of friends or conversations with friends or whatever, conversations with parents. Because it, in a sense, in today's day and age, it's kind of all we have when those people go or whatever, right? I don't know. It's there's like a good and a bad to it all, because another thing that could come from it is everyone feels like I'm a superstar and everything I say matters, blah, 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 and things like that, right? So that kind of gets,
it's got that give and a take on the both sides of it too. Like you're saying, everyone has that overinflated sense of like, I'm a superstar online sort of thing, but it's all bullshit. It's all social media. It's just, as soon as you turn your phone off, it's all goes away. You know what I mean? But the other aspect of it too is the instantaneousness of it all. Like back in the day, you had to take a picture and you'd have to take it somewhere and you'd have to have it developed. You know what I mean? Then you have to buy a new thing of film. Now it's there. It's right there. I can take it off my phone. I can delete it. I can edit it on my phone. I can put a new filter on and do all this, that right there on my hand. I don't have to take it to somebody to do it. I don't have to put it into my computer to do it. I can literally do it all in the palm of my hand. So it's very, very weird. It's given like people that ability to do that, but at the same time, it's given everybody that ability to do that. And for better or for worse, right? Like some people use it to do like some really great things and do some really positive and like spread some like great messages and like put some like truth out there that otherwise would get lost in the shuffle of just normal bullshit like mainstream news and whatever else. But at the same time, we could also sit here and talk about like the serious like detrimental effects of it, like day-to-day people thing. Like you're saying, it's like it is like the Truman Show, really. Like everyone has their own like basically everyone has their own show though. It's just so bizarre. And it's just such a weird social experiment, like really is what it is now at this point. Like how long has it been? Like what, 20 some odd years now? Like in that time frame, like of social media, like it's such a weird.
As I say, maybe not like I believe Facebook, so to speak, like they had a little bit like MySpace right before Facebook, which is like
true.
2004, 2005-ish. 2006-ish when it was when Facebook popped off, I'm pretty sure. And then like
close to 20 years.
Yeah, so no, like relatively close in certain regards. But yeah, man, it's weird because everyone has their roles and like the people who are tuning in to watch your daily show each day, like AKA people tuning in to check out what you're gonna post next, or if you are the type of person to make videos or content in that regard versus just pictures, or versus being someone who writes lengthy captions or you have like like you type like whatever on your notepad and then screenshot it like whatever, like, and then at the bottom put like whatever your catchphrase is. I don't know, man. Obviously it's all like marketing, advertising, things of that nature, but it makes you think that we all kind of like when I was talking to you earlier about that Jim Carrey video I was watching. Yeah, bro, he was just going off saying when you think of the word depression, you got to think of it like your body needs deep rest from playing the character and wearing the mask that it wears every day. And it's like your body's basically just saying like, for lack of a better term, fuck you, I'm tired of this mask I'm wearing. AKA causing you to need deep rest or be in deep like your body wants to be in deep breaths, aka just not motivated to do squat. This is different, man. Like it's kind of like he has like a grasp on life in that regard, because it's not about saying like specifically being like, oh, that's the key to depression, but it's like if that's one, especially if he's someone who faces it or whatever, and
It's
is
valid
choosing
though.
to share his ideas. Yeah, like he's like and everyone has their depression, like in certain regards. Everyone has their episodes, or everyone has their anxieties, just things that might bring them down. And yes, we can deem it as mental illness and things of that nature, but it's like everyone has their quote unquote things they're working on. Because I don't want to just say mental illness as if something's wrong with you, aka you're unable to be healed, whether it's from within yourself, other people helping you. We can't just take that off the table by saying, oh, I'm ill, I'm gonna be sick forever. Nah, bro, like we gotta try, if that's what we're on, to try to keep fighting and keep living for another day. Gotta make sure we're allowing ourselves to do that for ourselves. And it takes time and there's no rush. That's why everyone, like I said, everyone has their own version, everyone has their own limits, where they are with it, how they choose to deal with it. But watching that video, it just made me think, man, if I could make sure I'm not wearing a mask at all, or if I had to go from a scale of like 1 to 10, 1 being like I barely wear the mask, 10 being I'm just constantly wearing the mask every day, doesn't matter the scenario. Yeah, bro, I'd want to be at a 1 in the sense of human possible, or 2, because no one's perfect, right? But ain't nobody trying to be living in that 6, 7. A lot of people living in that 5, 6 range where it's like they wear it, like whether it's they're at work and we all have to wear it to try to preserve our self-image at work or whatever. But I don't know, bro. I'm just trying to shake it. And not about being disrespectful. Like if I don't wear a mask, I'm gonna be flagrant and yelling in people's faces and cussing and middle fingers at people. Nah, but you know how like some people just trip. Anyway, I don't
Yeah,
know what your thoughts on that.
it's about living like yourself without having to like, oh, this is who I'm trying to play to like get the part to play the role sort of thing. It's completely what you're saying before. And it's really interesting when you said like the deep rest part for depression, because back in the day when I was going through the shit a couple years ago and I ended up speaking to a psychiatrist, that was the last time I talked to anyone. She basically told me like, yeah, it's anxiety, but your anxiety from like overthinking and all that for doing it for so long makes you exhausted, which is where the depression comes from. So as soon as you said deep rest with depression, I was like, there I can see there's that correlation right there. But like it literally just from like that overthinking and that like spot, like just stupid thoughts of like just bad thoughts in your own head that like it wears you out eventually. Like after like a day or two of it, like you're just like, and that's the deep rest, like you said, right
Yeah,
there.
man. It causes us to be in a state where it's like we're unmotivated. And it's not even about, because some people don't need motivation, so to speak, to get up and go and take care of business. But when I say unmotivated, I just mean like anyhow you're losing your will to live. It sucks because if there's something that's causing that, you got to try to uproot whatever that is and get rid of that weed that's affecting your life. Because it's not worth it in my opinion. And I know some of us, we feel like we can't control it, or it's already past the point where we feel like, negative things might happen next. But we can't be on that type of time, bro. Like we got to try our best to uproot whatever it is that's causing us to be in those mental states, like those different mindsets where we're like, I'm gonna make sure I hurt myself. Like, we got to shift that, or do our best to shift that, because especially if people love us, and it's not, I get it. There's a lot of times people can be born with certain situations. A lot of times it can be caused from a young age, and then it develops over time because people hold things in with different trauma, things like that. But people just, it's hard to, because it's not about oversimplifying things, but it's like being able to care for yourself and being able to if we have a stable situation around us, whether it's family situation, whether it's the family that you choose, aka friends, comrades, we got to try to work in a synergy where we all build off each other, grow off each other, and not be on tear each other down, cause each other to be depressed, cause each other to want to be distant, et cetera, et cetera. But in my opinion, it starts from like trying to take out that mask and changing it up, because then I feel like your body will feel the reward from it and thank you from that. You know?
I agree with you, man. Like, especially your body rewarding you for that deep rest. Like, holy, like after you've like started, like, especially when you find like coping mechanisms that work and whatnot to help you change for the better and help you like cope, like not just cope, but like feel better. Like I like it's a different, like not just cope for like the time being, but like if you do this consistently enough, you're gonna start feeling better like more consistently. You know what I mean? When you start finding something like that, like that's it. Like it's just perfect. Like honestly, you start feeling that your body starts rewarding you. Like you said, like you just feel like when I started doing yoga, like for the first time I started doing yoga, like for the first like few like times I started doing, I was like, okay, like this is just like my body feels like a bit more limber and whatnot. Like I don't feel as like stiff. But then like a week or so of doing it, and I was just like, no, my mind feels a lot more restful and like I feel a lot more calm and lot like more. I don't like it, like meditation is like how I use it to meditate, because you just have to focus on movements and like breathing and doing it like not so much in synchronicity, but like doing it in a certain order and doing it like in a certain thing like that. It's kind of you could get the same thing with working out too. It's all about like movements and poses sort of thing, but like you're lifting a weight or you're pushing your own body weight or whatever else. But just take away the weight and that's and just put it in a weird position. That's yoga.
I mean, that's the thing. It's more actually teaching one discipline, right? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong,
Exactly.
you go through all those things that you were expressing, but the main core principle or whatever that I feel like one learns is discipline. Not, I mean, technically at first, your body's not going to be trained or disciplined to be able to hold said poses or lift said weights or run said miles, or kilometers. But at the same time, you build up that discipline, you build up that mental strength, that mental fortitude where you find yourself in a different place. You kind of similar to the seasons changing, like I was trying to say, or seasons changing, bro. It kind of ties into that where it's like you find yourself in a different mental state where you feel stronger, but it's not about stronger like, oh, I can harm anybody I want to, but it's stronger in the sense of I've overcame certain things where I'm more resilient or I'm more of a force to be reckoned with. You view life differently. Perspective is everything, in my opinion, because you have the proper perspective. You start to build the proper daily routines, or not even if you're not even a routine person, you want to switch it up every day, but you implement like different things that are super beneficial to your existence. Yeah, bro, you have no other way but to grow/win. That's why, but and again, I know some people watching, oh, it's easier said than done, Graham, but it's like, yo, it ain't. It's literally that. You set up these things for you to start doing these things daily, where whether it's you buy these things and you make sure okay, I'm gonna do 20 minutes here, I'm gonna do 20 minutes yoga, I'm gonna do 20 minutes where I'm doing a little bit of cardio, and then get the shower, bam, start the day, head to work, whatever. And then you see that in like, let's just say 60 days, 90 days, you start to see the change. Bro, shit gets real. And it's beautiful because not only physically, but mentally you start to change. It ain't about just, oh, it's the cure for everything, but it's like you implement certain good things like this, and you see the mental, your brain's chemistry change, your frequency, you're operating on changes. A lot of people like to say, man, fuck this and that, and this, that, and curse every time they get something negative that happens to them or other cases. And it's like, yo, like I was saying in the last episode, bro, you gotta, like, we gotta all trip. I know it might sound easy, like, oh, easier said than done, but fuck that mentality. Fuck that thinking about it like, oh, Graham's just, no, it's, I'm implementing these things and I'm seeing the change happen, and I'm not special as far, like, everyone can do certain things where they choose to, again, whether it's the way they talk to themselves, whether it's the way how they talk in general. Even me cursing, like, I don't have to curse. I might curse because it is what it is, but people like, I'm just saying in the sense of how frequency, words, like energy that I'm putting out, like all this shit matters, bro. And it's different because the older I get, again, the more I'm trying to make sure I navigate that shit the right way, because that's what's going to return. I'm getting what I put in. Like, that's all of us, though. Again, I'm not special. You're not special. No one's quote unquote special, but people choose to do extraordinary special things. That's what makes people elevate. And it's just my philosophy. You can take it as one man, because again, I'm not no end all be all. I ain't the law, but
it's
shit,
putting
man.
the work in. Like, it's just, that's the thing. Like, the people who say it's like it's easier said than the people who say it's easier said than done are the people who have like the ideas or like the grand ideas, what they have in mind, but they're not willing to put that work in, or they don't have the grand ideas and work in, or grand ideas in mind. But the common denominator is they don't want to put that work in. And if you don't, and that's just an easy, convenient like out for them, is just say, well, it's easier said than done. You got it all thought out here. Well, what about implementing it? Well, fucking implement it then. You know what I mean? Like, you have no, like, what do you have to lose? Like, other than like some time and a bit of effort, like,
because you're changing you're in a situation, and it's not even like the people who quote unquote, oh, I'm winning at life, baby, I'm winning. They're still trying to constantly improve and constantly make sure that they continue to quote unquote win. So it's not just about trying to talk down. I'm never ever trying to talk, again, like I just said for the last X amount of time. I'm not trying to talk down. I'm trying to direct people, especially like the people who choose to live. Yo, like we got to go move in the right direction so that we see the victories we want to see. It's not about me telling you to do this. It's about understanding this is your life to live, yo. You have how many, you don't know how many more years that you're going to be blessed with on this planet or whatever the case is. So you can sit there and be mad and, yo, I'm in this condition and this is bullshit. Or understand, okay, I got to make sure I'm being accountable. If it's a matter of right now, like, now, again, I'm talking to anybody. If this is a matter of right now, yo, man, I don't got a girl in my life and I feel like I'm ready to da-da-da-da-da. Let me focus up and get a girl. Yo, man, I don't got a job right now. I'm broke, but I'm able-bodied. I have a smart mind, da-da-da-da-da. Go and apply somewhere. It might be an entry-level job, janitor, whatever. But at least you'll be making a little bit of income. At least you'll be able to save up, discipline yourself so that when you leave, you can leave there shortly and get to a better position. But it's starting somewhere. It's making sure you're making changes to fucking grow. Otherwise, you're kind of just choosing to stay in a mindset or choosing to stay in a situation. Not everything's going to be perfect. There's going to be bumps and bruises along the way, and that's real. But saying that's it like, yo, yeah, but it's like, but even saying that's life, it's not even to say that's life, because again, bro, we can navigate what we're trying to. Yes, unfortunate events happen, but I'm talking about the bumps and bruises that, because how life happens, like I believe I said last episode, an expression I heard was like that life is 10% of what happens and 90% of how you react to it. And I believe that shit to the fullest, because it's like, again, whether you're the type of person using the public transit and the bus driver, the subway, streetcar driver, whatever, they pass your stop and you have to get off at the next one. You can be mad as hell, yes. Or you can be like, hey, bro, maybe I wasn't supposed to get off right there or something negative might have happened. Then you fuck around and go back, cross the subway line or whatever, and jump back on the next one and go back to one stop. It is what it is, bro. Like, it all just depends on how you look at life, how you react to it. It's so easy. Again, I'm not perfect, no one's perfect, but it's so easy for us to just bug out, bro, and be like, yo, I didn't get this, I didn't get that. It was like, did you work hard as fuck for that? Did you make sure that you, because again, life's not fair. And sometimes you can say that's life, like you said earlier, but man, fuck. We gotta implement.
And even if you do all the right things, get all the right things, sometimes it may not just work out, because that's just how it goes. Like, fucking COVID's taken two of my jobs so far, and I've done nothing wrong with either of these jobs. So here we go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, circumstances can just like take, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it just doesn't matter if you do all the right things. Circumstances can just rob that of you. So it's just all about like, okay, rolling with the punches, basically.
And even, of course, we can take that approach. But I'm saying, even with that being said, bro, it's different, because being in it sucks, but being in certain fields, like when you start to hear certain whispers, like again, like I'm at a hospital now, but if I was at like previous jobs where it doesn't even, like, let's just say I'm working at a grocery store, or let's just say I'm working at a Walmart, let's just say I'm working at a whatever. It sucks, but certain jobs in certain situations might get cut, which sucks because, as you know, a business is a business, right? It's like we're trying to save the bottom line or whatever. We're trying to make sure that we keep as much money as possible. So if we got to let go of a certain amount of people and force other people who choose to stay or whatever to do more work, we gonna do or whatever. However unfortunate, maximizing business, however they do it in the unfortunate ways, that's how they choose to do it. But in certain other situations, like like healthcare, or if you're police, or if you're, you know what I mean, like certain positions, unfortunately, they're always going to be needed because unfortunately people are always going to be getting hurt, aka for crime to be stopped. Unfortunately, people are always going to get sick. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes, right? So it's like even trying to navigate to get to a situation. But again, it's all how one chooses to live life. Because I'm not saying I'm trying to stay in a hospital setting for life. I'm not saying that anyone else has to go into a hospital setting. I'm just saying we got to try to navigate ourselves so that if a situation like that happens, we can try to take care of ourselves regardless. Or if a situation happens, we can still try to control or keep our peace of mind through it all. Because it's so easy for us to get shaken, and that's just what it is. We react to life how we react to it. But I truly believe if you try to master navigating through this motherfucking, how you react to things, how you perceive things, you master that mindset, you master that brain chemistry, you're on that Jim Carrey type level, bro. That's what I mean earlier when I was saying, like, I feel like this guy's got a lock on life, bro, because he understands, like, why am I tripping out and trying to impress motherfuckers, and why am I doing all this shit?
Have you seen the Jim Carrey, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond? The document. It was on Netflix for a while there.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've scrolled past it a couple of times. Not saying I don't want to watch it, but I've watched interviews around it, like basically interviews damn near the same length of the fucking movie itself, of him talking to other people about it and how he got so dark and getting into that role and this, that, and the third. And people like believed that he was him because he was just him all the time. And bro, shit's real, but that's a different type of level of like acting.
But it's not just that, but he talks about like his whole, like he talks about the whole mask thing in that documentary. Like he explained it through it, like his whole like film process with all like the different films he was in and all that. Like it's just brilliant. That's all I was gonna say. It's just a brilliant documentary. It really talks a lot about what you were saying there, like just that breaking that mask and like living how you truly are and how you truly want to be, despite like social media pressures, despite what, social expectations or society or anything else like that. It's all about living like your true self without that mask.
That's the beauty of it, man. Like, I feel like one day, and usually people say like, oh, I'm gonna be a super old man. I'm gonna go live on an island and always wear like a sun shirt every day, like those little button up little with the palm trees and shit on it. And
man, that's my fit all summer. What are you talking about?
Bro, that's what I was gonna say. As the seasons are changing, bro, like that shit means like, I know people technically like everyone changes their wardrobe into quote unquote summer or spring clothes where they have their style, different styles, shit like that. Fashion designers and fashion brands do the same thing. But I'm looking at it from the standpoint of like, eventually I'm gonna start just rocking them types of shits every time, or I'm gonna start wearing just bright ass neon fucking hoodies and shit like that just for no reason, because I'm just trying to be just myself. I'm not saying that I'm trying to wear bright neon shits and that's literally me. I'm saying from a standpoint of, bro, some people they choose to be different, but they still might not have shaken out of that box yet. But then once they do, then it's like there's no more putting them in that box. Like that box is now shattered. You can't ever, you know what I mean? But I
know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but it's like those I don't know, man. It's like those eccentric Michael Jackson, Prince, not necessarily Prince, but I mean, well, whoever you think about, Jimi Hendrix, whoever you think about as far as just, and it doesn't have to be specifically an artist. I mean, just certain people, whether they're a sports figure, whether they're like a genius, if like Einstein wore super dope lab coats with different designs on it. I'm saying if back then they had that type of mindset. People might think like a Nikola Tesla or whatever, people who just thought to be different or chose to be different in a time when everyone's saying, no, do it this way. It's like, I know I'm that person, and it's fucked up as it might sound, because it's not about trying to be vain or whatever, or arrogant in any way, but sometimes motherfuckers I'll be walking down the street and motherfuckers be staring at me, bro, and I'm not no celebrity or no thing like that. And it's like, why are you guys all staring at me like as if I'm somebody? But I don't know, maybe I don't know how else to explain it other than it's weird, man. Like, people sometimes just have like a certain aura about them where they kind of look like they come into a room and people go, oh shit, what up, man? And they kind of change the energy of the room in a good way. You know what I mean? And sometimes motherfuckers be feeling like that, bro. Like, and it's not about me trying to be vain or anything like that. I'm just saying maybe it has a connection with when you start to wear your mask less and less, you start to emit a different type of like energy or frequency or some type of shit off of you.
100%.
What's your thought on that?
100%. You definitely do. It's because, like you said, you're living like closer to who you really are, and if you're living closer to who you really are, you should be feeling like the best, like living your best life, as they say. You know what I mean? So when you're vibing like that really like that shines out, especially in places especially like around here. Like if you're like, that's like, I hate to keep using that shorthand, but it's the easiest way I can put it. Living your best life. People can see that, like, for better, for worse, for people judgy or for whoever else. But like the real ones who also see, like, want to do that sort of thing will recognize that sort of thing. Like your vibe attracts your tribe. But it's 100%, like 100% what you're saying. Like it's all about like, just like you said, vibing at your own, like just vibing with your own like frequency, but like at the same time but just being like your true self.
No, it's dope, man. And it's good though, because it's like, again, I look at it from a standpoint of change for the better is always good, but sometimes change, like, you just gotta let that shit, like, you just gotta let it happen and figure it out while it's happening. Like because you might not look at it like, yo, this is a good thing right now, bro, because some change might happen that's out of your control. But I don't know. I genuinely enjoy it, bro, because as I'm going through the process and I'm seeing certain things come together and certain conversations I might have had with people or certain things that I might have set into existence, and then I see them coming into fruition now. I rock with it because I say to myself, it's not about vanity or whatever, but it's like you're slowly but surely putting certain pieces into place. And then when it comes together, you kind of, sometimes you like surprise yourself sometimes. Like, oh shoot, I literally planned to have this situation come together within the next 5 years, but I ended up doing it in 2. And then you're saying to yourself, oh shoot, we out here making moves or whatever. And you're just catching yourself, you know what I mean? And it's a good feeling in that regard. That's why
it really is.
I truly believe that saying where it's like, nah, life is 10% of what happens and 90% of how you react to it. Because that's why they have phrases like, oh, chain, a cause and effect and chain reactions and da 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 da. Because it's like one good thing can spark something that, AKA a seed that can just grow into some amazing, like a big ass oak tree or whatever the case is. But then that same seed can be planted and you choose not to water it and neglect it and all that, and then it just dies and you're like, okay, well, hey, I'm going to be miserable. And it's not that only one seed of something that can spark you into a new mentality. It can happen in life, but fuck, you got to try not to neglect these things or just disregard them when they happen to you, because we don't know when we're always going to get great opportunities in that regard, right?
It's back to what we were talking about. You got to put that work in, and that's all part of nurturing the plant, like you said there. Like if you put that work in and you take the self-care in this case, like with yourself, and you just put that work in, you're going to see the results and hopefully be a strong, thriving flower in the sun.
Yeah, facts, bro. And that's what it is, bro. And that's the beautiful thing about, as you see with the seasons changing, the fact that you start to see weather come out, you start to feel better. Certain people's moods change into a better mode, as far as like, it's not necessarily cold and bitter. It's nice, it's starting to get nicer and warmer. Just like literally like today, I'm going to go for a random walk. I still got homework and all type of other shit that I want to accomplish. But at the same time, bro, like you got to get outside and be in the sun. Damn the homework, as far as if I don't go outside. And because, part of me, I got to, again, like I said previously, I'm making sure I'm working on my procrastinating and getting things accomplished, because I'm not here to be wasting time. But at the same time, you got to live sometimes, bro. You got to be out here enjoying yourself. You don't want, like, we don't want to always be, I'm so focused on the grind that you don't actually live or enjoy it, or, you know what I mean, enjoy the moments you have.
You have to smell the roses. You have to really enjoy those moments when they come. Like
Literally.
Yeah, it's part of putting the work in, but there's also part of enjoying the day, enjoying the moment, and
Yeah.
putting the work. Like the work can wait, like for half a second, for half a moment or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's all about enjoy. Like fuck, I hiked yesterday. I went on a hike yesterday when it was not too bad. It was not too bad, not like super sunny here, but like it was decent. Like went out and enjoyed that. So like it's just a
That's,
matter of finding time to do it.
yeah. Yeah. And it's good because, again, we got to do the things we enjoy, which in turn help our mentalities, which in turn make us, quote unquote, be living better lives, AKA winning. It's all a cycle. And as I'm like doing biology and shit like that, bro, and learning about all types of molecules and isotopes and pyruvates and all types of shit, like just as far as just things that make things happen. The whole body, the whole system, everything works. Granted, if all this information I'm learning is true, all this shit works. And when working in, because when you learn things, you're learning things in the hypothetical, like perfect conditions. Like if you learn about water, you're learning about water being in the perfect condition, AKA like there's no random bacteria that's causing the water to blah, 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 or like, you know what I mean? Like, so if we analyze life in quote unquote perfect conditions, again, nothing's perfect, but I mean, in the best of like the conditions that you can make, like basically the best that you can make happen in your day to day. If you analyze life like that, okay, well, how do I build a cycle or a routine that I do every day that causes me to feel better, act better, live better, et cetera, and slowly implement that plan because I know it takes time. I'm telling you, you're gonna be laughing in 6 months, then laughing in 18 months as far as the growth and progress and just how different you think and how different you are. And I'm just saying it from experience because being out here for like almost 3 years now, I'm telling you, I've been better. And though you might slip and trip and stumble and things like that, as long as you don't give up, you'll constantly keep getting better. That's just my 2 cents on it, my two pennies.
You're 100% right, man. Like it's just keep putting in that effort and you keep seeing the results. And as long as you be consistent about it, you'll keep seeing those results, especially for like personal performance and just personal betterment. That's literally all you can do at the end of the day is just do the work every single day until there is no more days.
Facts. And if you're stepping into this new season with a mentality of, yo, it's all me. I got to get this money. Do that. Nothing wrong with that. But just remember, try to keep a healthy mentality while you're doing it. Try not to starve yourself of the things you actually enjoy, which could in turn cause you to be a better person towards people who love you and things like that.
Exactly.
Get your money.
Balance.
You don't got to do nothing for nobody in certain regards, but just if you're not going to do nothing for nobody, do it what's good for you so that you're not out here being a jerk and being an asshole to all these different people or whatever. And if you got to drop certain people and unfortunately cut certain bonds with people you might have been rocking with before because they're not helping you move towards how you're trying to move or move towards your goals and destinations, please don't be ashamed to do that shit either, bro. People will unfortunately have a situation where they got to cut off whatever they got to cut off and they won't. And then that situation affects the whole body and then now the whole body can never be healed. Bro, shit is real.
Boy, story of this town.
Just using that. Well, hey, even saying that, bro, just try your best to not be within it, especially because as you say that, one is saying it as if they know that story too well. And if you know it, you know how it ends. So it's like, you got to make sure you do your best to step all the way. Just in basketball, it'd be called a Euro step. You got to Euro step that whole bitch. Just get around that motherfucker and then get your 2 points. Because nah, bro, like you can't just allow that shit to hold you up and try to put a blocking foul on you and all that other bullshit. Nah, bro, you got to get around that motherfucker and just don't let it affect you and touch you in any way.
I agree.
Keep going.
You got to be better than what's like this, like what the average is around here. Like for where I am anyways, that's how I look at it. Like you got to rise above like just like the average people. And it's not, that sounds like so elitist and sounds like so like selfish, but like it's literally, you got to be better than just like how everyone else is doing because everyone else is doing just, I don't know. They're not doing the same things basically.
Yeah, bro, but it's more about that I understand that perspective because ain't nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, you got to still look at it from a perspective of like you're saying, these motherfuckers, people are down on their luck, bro. Like I was saying, my one homie came through and we were talking about some real shit or whatever. But I was showing him like, yo, just look outside, and you see certain people's -20 or whatever, motherfuckers laying on the streets, just laying on the streets and shit, bro. It ain't about saying, yo, you got to do better than him, but it's about understanding, yo. You do, it's a harsh truth. It's not about trying to just be like on some elitist mentality. It's like, yo, if I don't do my best, unfortunately, I can end up like anybody out here who's struggling. And I don't want to struggle. Therefore, I had to trip out and change my ways, bro. That's why it's like, me personally, Trent, as we're moving into spring, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be different. Not on no negative stuff, but just different as far as I can't be just expelling all types of energy to people who ain't trying to reciprocate it. I can't be doing certain things that my younger self was doing because it affects you, bro. It affects you in the worst ways because then you don't ever want to build any type of resentment or any type of negativity towards people who you love because of, like, if you choose not to say, hey, if it's a family member, for example, it's a cousin or whatever, like, hey, cousin, I don't want to do this. It's I don't rock with it. But instead, you choose to do it. And then, unfortunately, eventually, over time, you keep doing said thing and it gets corrosive because then you're saying to yourself, why am I doing it? Instead of just when it first starts, nip it in the bud. No, I'm not doing that. Don't be afraid. For the people listening, please don't be afraid to say no or nah, I can't do it or I don't got it or whatever. If it's going to help yourself mentally. These people, all we can kind of do is we owe ourselves that much is what I'm saying.
I agree. I couldn't have said it any better, man. Honestly, like
Word.
you know better than you know your own self better than anyone else.
Facts. But yeah, bro. I mean that's what I got, bro. Just wanted to tap in with the listeners and drop a 1-2 penny, drop a jewel like my chain broke, like my boy Sci High says. Hey, bro, just tripping. We out here though, like. I feel like people who choose to take control of their lives, bro, like they just enjoy that shit more because they're not focused on everybody else and allowing everybody else to dictate what they do, how they live, what they enjoy, et cetera, et cetera. Not being on the internet all the time. Again, like I know certain people are upset about it for me to not be liking their posts or for me to not be da. These are just simple things that I don't even care. Like, I'm not stressing that type of stuff. But unfortunately, certain people care about that type of stuff. Like, yo, man, he didn't share my this, she didn't share my that. I'm not talking about not supporting friends. I'm talking about just the vain people. Like if they post a woman, if she posts a picture in her bikini, or if there's a dude and he posts a picture of himself shirtless working out or whatever, and I choose not to like it, that's not something that's, yo, I got a situation, a fundraiser I'm working on, please support, share that. That's not the same thing to me. So it's like, I got to make sure that we picking and choosing and doing what's right for like how we feel we need to be living and what's right for us and shit.
It's all, like you said, it's all about giving that energy to people who are just going to reciprocate that energy. Holy fuck. I can't even talk now.
It's what it is, bro. Don't stress it. Fuck, we out
Tongue's
here, bro.
gone.
It is what it is. But yo, it's regardless, to the people listening,
words are hard.
Yeah, we fuck with you heavy, and yeah, don't worry. Words are hard. People experience sometimes they experience certain things or whatever where they get affected or whatever. So that's why I'm saying, Trent, it ain't no thing, bro. Don't fucking do it. We ain't tripping off that. If you stumble on a 1-2 word, like a few months ago, you went through a situation. It is what it is. Like no one's perfect. Even me, I'm stumbling on words, and you know what I mean, I'm okay. So fuck in that regard, don't trip it. Don't trip on it. But fuck, bro. To anyone listening who genuinely cares, just know that we rock with you. We ain't trying to steer you wrong. We're not always saying we are not the law. It's just our opinions. Trent's opinions are his, my opinions are mine. But we just
we're never trying to steer you wrong. That's for damn sure.
Just trying to trip out and express some thoughts that are on our brains. So to the people listening, my name is Graham.
I'm Trent.
And this is another episode of Ultra Fly Talk. We appreciate y'all listening. Take care.